Um, Hello, I'm Kyri Simmons, and I'm interviewing Josh Hagberg.
Mm.
At the University of South Carolina, Aiken, April 5th, 2019. Um, Mostly about his military-centered life. Okay, you said you were born in Augusta, Georgia,
Correct.
March 11th, 1994. Um, but you also say Utica, New York.
So I've been all up and down the East Coast.
Okay.
My folks were living here in Aiken, South Carolina, and they just took me to the Augusta hospital because of the maternity ward there. And then I just came right back here as soon as I was out of the hospital. And then from there, moved up to Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, and then eventually just right back here.
Okay, that's interesting. But do you feel like home is where the heart is, or is there a place you find that would be your home?
Well, man, I most certainly think that, of course, home is where the heart is. And, of course, my heart's always been here. Like, I mean, I love South. I love the open spaces and everything like that. Like, I've never been a big fan of big cities and stuff like that. Just too
Okay,
much traffic, too many people in a small space.
it's interesting. Very different. Um, using 5 words, how would you describe Aiken?
Well, Aiken's the best small town there is. So, I mean, it, I don't know. I didn't really count how many words that was, but it is. I mean, I enjoy it. The train town, the history involved with the development of that town. Looking at the pictures of what it used to look like, and you can still see it even today. Just looking at where a lot of the old buildings are still standing.
Very interesting. So it says you moved from California to Illinois. What was the cause of that move?
Well, I didn't move from California to Illinois. I only stayed in California for like 2 weeks after
Oh,
I'd gotten
okay.
out. Um, Going from here to Illinois, that's whenever I went to boot camp. And
Okay.
it's called Great Lakes, Illinois, and that's where Navy sends all their new recruits to.
Okay. So let's go on. Let's move on to your high school experience. So you like JROTC
Mhm.
in swimming. Which do you prefer?
I definitely enjoyed swimming because I got a lot more activity out of there. But JOTC also counted as an honors course, so I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna take as many of those as I possibly can. But the mentorship that you got from the guys that were there, because you have a retired commander and a retired senior chief that are running the thing, and they know you pretty much from the time that you're a freshman until you graduate, depending on how long you stay in there. So they see what you're like. They know your capability. It's just like a second set of pardon me, second set of parents. But
Okay. Um, can we know a little bit about your family? Like, are you very close with your siblings?
oh, very, especially after we had grown up, especially. Of course, when we were younger, like we always squabble. We had fights and stuff like that. But it's like nowadays, I'm always calling my brother. I'm always calling my sister. I watch her nephew and her niece every once in a while, or excuse me, my nephew and niece every once in a while. And I drive around all the way up to Columbia to get my brother, and I'll bring him home every once in a while. We'll visit my mom and everything. So,
Um, okay, moving on. What gave you the decision that, I'm finally gonna, 6 months after graduation, I'm gonna just go into the military?
so I had actually signed up while I was still in high school, but there's this waiting period that you have to wait for. It's forget what the acronym stands for, but it's MEPS, and it's an entry program for the military. So you go, you meet up with your recruiter, you work out, you do runs, and you just you're supposed to be getting an idea of what the military is like. Unfortunately, the guy I recruited with didn't know anything about submarines.
Wait, so did you do MEPS and you did boot camp?
Well, MEPS isn't like boot camp. Like you still live at home.
Oh, okay.
You just go meet up with your recruiter like every weekend or so, and you just kind of do like a quick run, and like you do just like the PRT type stuff is like do your sit ups, your push ups, and your mile-and-a-half run.
Okay. So you enlisted in the Navy at 18.
Mm-hmm.
For you, you probably had your minds already set on, enlisting, but what was going through your family's mind?
Well, I really kind of surprised. Well, not that I surprised them because they knew I wanted to join the military. But next thing you know, I have the Marine recruiter at my door, just like, "Hey, where's Josh at?" Like we're trying to talk to him. It's just all like just super aggressive, like recruiting tactics. Like he was a friendly guy. Don't get me wrong. Jablonski was great, and I wanted to do Marines, but like everyone was all like, "No, no, no, you don't need to do Marines. Go Navy," and part of me really regrets making that decision to join the Navy, but at the same time, I also appreciate how many more opportunities I've had in the Navy, and how many more education branches I've gone through in there.
Wow. Um, did it make you nervous that you're about to go into, something new?
It always does. Like even coming here to college, I was expecting a whole different type of experience, but it's like I'm here and it's just part of my daily routine now. And it was just like that with the Navy. It's like because naturally you don't know what to expect. You got some scenario playing out in your head, and you're like, "Oh, what's this gonna be like?" But then like you never truly know until you step off that bus and you're there. You got this dude screaming at you, and like the funniest thing was being from like a southern style home. Everyone is sir, but not everyone is sir there. It's I'm petty officer, I'm chief, I'm not a sir, just and then like next thing you know, you find a dude that you are supposed to call him sir, and you call him something else, and just some, it's great.
Wow. Um, the next part, about boot camp. Like, let's set the backdrop, like how it was. You went in November the 18th, 2012. Where did you complete it? Like, where did you get out of boot camp?
I got out right at the end of December, in the beginning of January. I don't remember the exact day. It's a couple years ago, but
Being in it, do you remember what your drill instructor was like?
I mean, of course I do. I mean, I'm actually still in contact with one of my drill instructors to this day because we have three of them, right? So you have your first, second, and third RDCs, and that's just another way of saying drill sergeant, if you will. But one of them I'm still in contact with even today because like I had gotten set back 2 weeks because I had failed the final test. So it was, I was in what's called a push division, so everything was like super fast. It's like one of the summer courses here.
Oh, wow.
So we're just like pushing through everything super fast, passed every test until because like you can make up the earlier tests, but that final one if you didn't make it because we were graduating the next day, so if you didn't pass that test you got set back 2 weeks. So even after I had gotten set back, he still came to my new division to check up on me every once in a while, and I always appreciated that. It's just because it was just so overwhelming. Just like you got this whole group of people that you knew, and now you're shoved into this new division, and you're just an interloper to them.
Would you say that was the hardest part?
It was pretty hard, but it was a blessing in a way because then my folks could actually come up to my graduation.
Um, what ways has that changed you? Like, being here now in the present moment?
Um, my mannerisms have had to change for especially it was kind of disorienting coming here and being one of the like I'm older than a lot of the like graduating seniors. So that was a little disorienting for me because like I'm just surrounded by people who are pretty much one of my youngest brother's age,
Wow.
and I'm in the same grade as them. And so I was just like, I remember when a lot of these guys were freshmen and they're seniors now,
That's something.
like freshmen in high school, pardon me, but they're seniors in college now, and I'm just like, y'all done grew up. What happened?
Um, we're gonna move on to your service. Where were you stationed, and what activities was your, unit involved in doing?
So after I graduated submarine school over in Groton, Connecticut, I got actually stationed as my active duty
Okay.
over in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. What we as a unit did, I'm not at liberty to discuss because of the secret nature of everything that we did. All I'm officially allowed to tell you is that I did. Let me see, how did they put it? I performed duties for the Navy in the best interest of the United States. I think that's how they. I haven't been to a security brief in like a year and a half, so I don't remember how they put it.
Do they get you if you like tell their secret?
Oh yeah, they will find you and they will get you.
um, while you were at Pearl Harbor, like, what was your specific job?
So, in Pearl Harbor itself, I did maintenance,
Okay.
weapons loading, and just topside security, right? But out to sea, I had another job, and that was Sonar Tech. So I'm allowed to tell you a little bit about that specific bit there. So I sit there in front of a screen, have some headphones on, and my job is to pretty much just point out, hey, there's a ship over here, there's a ship over there, go in these directions, go in that speed at this distance. And pretty much what that does is that helps us A, not get counter detected, and B, not run into any of them. So
Wow.